Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Garden Air. My name is Natalie, and today we are just going to be out in the garden doing some different things. I have to go out to the greenhouse and up pot some tomatoes today. All my black beauties are looking beautiful. They're all tall, they're all leafed out with their first set of leaves, so it's time to up pot them. So we can discuss that, why you up pot, the difference between using seed starter mix and soil. And I have some different things going on in the greenhouse, so we can do some comparisons with the seedlings. And we'll just, I don't know, I'll just show you some things that I do. And the tulips are up and blooming, so we can take a look at those. I have to run out to Tractor Supply real quick and get some things for the rabbits. The ducks are all taken care of. I can show you the ducklings again today. They're already a little bit bigger. There's never a whole lot going on in the garden this early in the season. It's like April 19th or something like that, and it's still, it's still early. The leaves are branching, the leaves are leafing out, and it's turning green, and it's looking beautiful out there. It's just not really blooming yet. Like the roses are just starting to get their little leaves, and they're waking up, and things are still tiny. The hostas are just starting to emerge, so yay. There's like major changes like every week. Like the video I did last week is so much smaller than what it is out there today in just a week time. We did get the vegetable garden all ready. It's expanded. It's kind of all tilled up. We got some composted cow manure in there. I'll show you some of the stuff we did and are still working on out there. Big difference from last week's video. So let's just go out. We'll do some updates. I'll show you what I'm doing around the garden today, and let's just get at it. Okay, so I said I'd show you the ducks, and there they are under their light, so everything looks red. But yeah, they're resting. They have been playing in that water jug all day. That's why one's still they both have their head in it, don't they? Oh no, not the other one. Yeah, this is just a vinegar bottle, and I cut it like that so that they could have more water than what they were getting. And it has a wall around the water to help keep it a little bit more clean. So we'll see how that works. Hi, Ben. So yeah, they're getting big. There's Lady. There you guys go. Yeah, there's the ducks. There's the ducks. Yes, so cute. You're all cute. So we're gonna let them rest for now. Yeah, let's let them go to sleep. They have been eating a lot of food today. Too cute.
Leave me, baby, don't wanna fall again. This just hurt me. Just think about it, but you hold me like you don't wanna break. I need some space. Just think about it. Maybe separate is better. I will love you till forever.
Always windy here, so it's hard to do outdoor videos without some kind of wind in the camera, so I apologize. But here is our vegetable garden ready for the year. Well, it's almost ready. We tilled in a whole lot of rotted cow manure and got that all mixed in around what seeds I already have started. Hey, Fen, out of the garden, buddy. Come on. Good boy. But we still need to bring in a truckload of the garden soil that we use, and I'll be throwing that on top. That way, if any of the manure is still fresh, it'll be covered and won't be touching any of the plants. You do want to worry about bacteria like E. coli getting on your plants as they grow. So I'll be covering this with fresh dirt and probably a little bit more compost as well. So my area for the corn is already over there. I got a lot of the weeding done through here. I have to get that little section right there of grass out, and then all of this should be pretty much ready. And then we have to finish putting the fence around it because we do battle wild bunnies coming in and stealing tomato plants. So that short little fence keeps them out of the garden. So that's the vegetable beds so far in the middle of what we're doing, and I'll update again as soon as I have a little bit more work done. This box is ready for all bearing strawberries, and then this spot is getting ready for herbs. I have to get it all tilled up and sectioned off, and figure out what I really want to do with this to make this look nice, but I'll figure it out and I'll get there. So my sage from last year is coming up. Well, it's back. It looks beautiful. So the sage came back beautifully, and so I'll be putting more herbs in here, my basil, my rosemary, maybe a little bit of lavender. I haven't decided if I want to put the lavender in here or up in the flower bed. It might actually go up in the flower bed. And so let's head into the greenhouse and take a look at the tomatoes I have to up-pot. Okay, in the greenhouse, look at how lovely everything is doing. I just love it. So these are the tomatoes we're going to be working on today and up-potting. They've gotten nice and big. They have their first set of leaves out, and they look great, and I want to get them into some potting soil before they really start to flop over and not do so great anymore. This is watermelon, and these are all broccoli. These also will have to be up potted. So if I have time today, I'll get to these as well because they also need to be thinned. Peppers. These tomatoes are not as far along. Those are Romas. So those will have a little bit more time. So I do have to get everything watered, and then we can talk about some up potting. There's some peas sprouting in here. There's a lima bean. I am doing a couple of things in the greenhouse to stay in here just to see how they do in the greenhouse and not in the vegetable garden. So like these peas will be staying in here. I'm not sure what this is. This ended up in here, but I'll wait and see what that is. These are all peas, and we'll see how they do in the greenhouse versus the ones I put outside. Same with these couple of lima beans. I just wanted to experiment how they do inside. But everything over here needs to be watered. Everything's looking a little bit on the dry side, especially these shallot seedlings. So let's get some water on everything. Okay, so everything is watered and set to go for the day. So I'm just going to grab, I think I'm going to do these inside, the tomatoes, and go through I don't know, let's go through this pack today and take it inside just because it's noisy. My neighbor has his lawnmower going, the wind is blowing, my wind chimes are going crazy. So it's a little noisy out here, and I really don't enjoy working in the wind. So let's take it all inside. Getting down here really close to the grape hyacinths because they're in full bloom and looking beautiful. And if you do get down close to these, you can find a nice light hyacinth fragrance. They do have a scent. They're just so tiny that you have to really get down to them to smell it. But they always just put up a nice little spot of color, and I really love them. And I tell myself every year I have to put more in this fall so I have more little clusters of these, and every fall I forget to buy some more. So hopefully this year I will remember. They are starting to spread. I'm finding little little bits coming up on the side. So if they spread, that'll be nice because this garden is so big, I have plenty of room for more. And look at these tiny little lilies I just found coming up right next to them. They are so little, so I really have to be wary of these and make sure I don't step on them. I'm not sure what kind they are, but we'll find out. I'm thinking they're probably stargazers, but we'll see. They're definitely an oriental lily of some sort, and I can just tell that by the way they're shaped. So hopefully some stargazers, we'll see. And I did just find this beautiful little turkey tail mushroom, so I might bring this inside and make some tea out of it. I don't know, but we'll see. The weeping cherry I showed you last week is done blooming. It only has a couple of little blooms hanging on for the most part, but it'll just be this beautiful weeping tree for the rest of the season. And here's the rest of the front garden, just kind of coming along. Look at all the lilies. Those are all different lilies coming up through there. Of course, irises. Oh, I bought some goodies today. I bought myself another allium. So these are alliums here, and those are alliums. And I did buy another one that I want to sneak in one of these empty spaces. Maybe I'll put it like right in here. And I got a hardy geranium. So that will go out here somewhere for some color. I see I have a couple of dandelions to pull out of the garden. They are allowed to grow all they want in the yard, just not in the garden. So those have to come up and be removed. And I have these white tulips in bloom over here. So pretty. Look at those. I love these, and these come up faithfully every single spring. Love them. They never miss a beat. There should be some black tulips coming in too. They bloom a little bit later than these white ones, so we'll wait and see where those start to bloom. I think that's them right there. I have more black tulips in back. Lots of lilies coming up in here. I really have to be careful where I step in here, so I'm not always mindful of the camera because I'm always watching my feet. But there's rose bushes. There's a rose bush trimmed way back. These are some foxgloves that should bloom this year because those were started from seed last year. And just, I have a lot of new irises that were pretty small when I got them, like that one there. So it's nothing exciting yet, just one little leaf, but that will become a nice beautiful iris like these, which will be blooming soon. So lots of irises. There's some more grape hyacinths in there. That's a younger clump. And there's a little bit more over in here. Daffodils are finishing up already. Always sad to see them go. So all the dead heads on those, they'll die back. And these red tulips over here are still hanging on a little bit longer, not putting off the same show that they put off last week. It's amazing how fast things bloom and are done and gone, and it makes me sad that they don't come back until next year. These will be a gorgeous iris here. Look at all the lilies. I just love lilies, so I have them popping up literally everywhere. Some of these should be salmon star, so that'll be exciting because salmon star is one of my favorites. And there's a little dianthus there. So this bed was just kind of put in on a whim, so I have to do some work and get it shaped better in the back and add some more things to it and get this one filled up. So this is a pretty fresh bed. But I'm just kind of like popping different things into. So yeah, while I was out at Tractor Supply, I stopped at the nursery and picked up some cuties. So this is a Cranesville hardy geranium, which will get like a red flower. And there's my new allium. I'm going to keep in the bag for now until I can get it planted later on. But there's its flower. Millennium. So that'll be pretty. Okay, I'm back inside and I have my seedlings ready. And what I want to do is just up pot everything that already has a set of true leaves. So when you see your seedlings come up and you see those two first little leaves that pop up, those are cotyledons and they're not true leaves. They just help to feed the plant until it's able to make its own food, and then those usually drop off. So once you start seeing the true leaves, which will usually have a shape to them different than the cotyledons, like you can see the shape of the leaves here on these tomato plants, they have like a ruffled edge. When you really start seeing those, it's time to get the plant into some proper care. It's kind of like taking a baby out of the nursery because they're growing up. So we need to get these guys into actual soil. Soil starting mix or seed starting mix is usually just a really light fluffy blend of like perlite, vermiculite, some sphagnum moss, things like that, sometimes cocoa coir. And it's really light and fluffy, and it's not heavy and bulky so that it doesn't suffocate or drown your seeds when you're keeping them so moist so that they can germinate. But as the seedling grows and starts to become an actual plant, it does need a denser soil that's going to be more nutrient rich, because now the plant is going from having those cotyledons that kind of feed it and take care of it to having to acquire the ability to grow its own food through photosynthesis, root growth, nutrients in the soil. So we actually have to give it a denser soil and start giving it nutrients. So that's why you don't usually feed your seedlings. You don't fertilize it until you have a well-established plant. I'm going to be moving these guys into potting soil, but I won't be fertilizing them until they're actually into the garden bed. So I want them to be a pretty nice established plant before I start giving them any kind of fertilizer, because you could burn your tender little seedlings. So treat them like babies until you actually have plants. So I'm going to be doing my Black Beauty tomatoes, and I'm going to be doing them one tomato plant at a time into these little 4-pack holes of soil, and hope that that's going to be big enough for them until they make it into the garden. They have about a month to go. Usually like mid-May here is when I want to start putting my plants out into the garden. Our average last frost date is between May 15th and May 20th. So somewhere in there they'll be safe to go out in the garden. So they have to spend like a whole month in these little pots. So I'm going to go ahead and get these done. I did do a video last year, I can link it down below, of how I separate the seedlings and how I grab them and everything. So I'll put that link in the description box for you. And I'm just going to go ahead and get these guys put into their growing media, and I'll be back. Okay, I have my Black Beauty tomatoes all potted up. So as you can see, I did individuals in each pot. Oop, this one looks like it might need a little bit more dirt. And this one here, it's a little low. But I have a few 4-packs and a few 3-packs, and everybody is potted up singly. So these guys are going to get watered and head back into the greenhouse and continue to grow there until they can go into the garden. So I'm just gonna make sure everybody's nice and straight, deep enough. You want a lot of support on their long necks, and make sure everything is very secure, and begin watering carefully until they establish into their new packs. So I'm doing some of my broccoli as well And these guys I've been putting into toilet paper and cut up paper towel tubes. And you just fold up the bottoms and fill it up with soil, and there you go. You have a biodegradable little pot full of vegetable plants. So broccoli is getting all done up, and I'm going to have so many extras. Look at all this broccoli I have. There's just so much in here. The entire packet sprouted, and I don't know what I'm going to do with all of these plants, so I might have some for sale. But yeah, very excited. I love broccoli. It's probably one of my favorite vegetables, so I'll probably grow as much of this as I possibly can. I ran out of paper towel tubes, so I put some in here, and I don't know, I might have to start potting some up in some of these extra pots and figure this out. It's getting late in the day, and I did do some cleaning up in the greenhouse, so everything's vacuumed and organized. I cleaned this thing out. I just keep this in here to like hide all my fertilizers and alfalfa and bone meal, all that extra stuff for the garden, twine. My sprinkler is in there, things like that. So that's kind of in the way, but it's useful. I want to eventually put in another shelf here, so I did clear this space. These hostas are just waiting to get outside once weather is a little bit nicer for them. So look at all the broccoli I have, and that's not even all of it. So I have a lot. I can't believe every single seed germinated. So here we go. These are apricot cosmos that are going to be just so pretty. Some lettuce. So yeah, everything's just kind of organized, cleaned up. It's going on 5 o'clock, and I am tired. So I got a lot of stuff done, including some cleaning up. Now I actually have to go in and clean my house, so the day is never done. So I hope you all just enjoyed this little garden day with me, and I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful night, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.